Good morning. Today we will be starting the topic radical axis of circles. Radical axis means here two circles you have. Now you draw a line from any point on this line. From this point, if you draw the tangents, that is PT1 and PT2. So, you take any point outside the circle, you draw tangents to these circles. Then, if you say these two are equal, then the locus of point P, that is a line, is we say as a radical axis. The radical axis means what? The tangents drawn from a point to the circles which are equal in length, then the locus of point moving point P is called the radical axis. Suppose you have the equation, the first one, S equals x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. S dash equals, you say x square plus y square plus 2g1x plus 2f1y plus c1 equal to 0. These are the two circles. This is S equal to 0 and this is S dash equal to 0. With the center we have minus g minus f and this one minus g1 minus f1. Then what we have to find out? The tangents drawn from the point. Let us take this point B, x1, y1. If this is x1, y1, from this to this, what is the length of the tangent? We say that as PT1 equal to PT2, then only we say that as this is lying on the radical axis. So, PT1 equal to PT2. So, PT1 equal to PT2 means what you will get? Root of, that is you get that as length, as we get x square plus y square plus 2gx1. Here also x1 square y1 square, because the point is x1 y1. The length of the tangent, if you draw here, you get x1 square plus y1 square plus 2gx1 plus 2fy1 plus c equals root of another, that is x1 square plus y1 square plus 2g1x1 plus 2f1 y1 plus c1. This is given. Or if you are squaring and bring that everything into one side, we get that the equation as 2x1 into g minus g1 plus 2y1 into f minus f1 plus c minus c1 equal to 0. So, that is equation of, or we can say that this is a locus, this point P x1 y1 lies on this line. So, it represents a straight line because the degree of x and y is linear, that is a linear degree. So, it is representing a straight line. So, the locus of P is a straight line. Now, what is the equation? 2x into g minus g1 plus 2y into f minus f1 plus c minus c1 equal to 0. This is the required equation of radical axis. So, the radical axis means what? The locus of point, or if you draw a tangent to these circles from any point such a way that their length are equal. That is very important. That is, if the tangent drawn from the point to the two circles, if they are equal in length, then we get that as the locus of the point moving, that is a straight line. That straight line is called a radical axis. Now let us see that as what are the properties of radical axis. So properties of radical axis. So you have two circles here, and now we know that as this is the radical axis. P lies on this. Now it gives us the C1, C2 as the center. If you join this, then this radical axis bisects the line segment joining C1 and C2. This can be verified easily. That is, we know that as this has a minus G minus F and minus G1 minus F1. And you get the equation of axis, that is radical axis, you have that. The slope of line or slope of radical axis is minus the coefficient of x upon the coefficient of y. So we get minus 2 into g minus g1 upon 2 f minus f1. So 2 can be cancelled. So we get minus of g minus g1 upon f minus f1 is the slope of the radical axis. Now what we are going to say that is this line and this line perpendicular. So now slope of C1 C2. Slope of C1 C2 is, we can get f minus f1 by g minus g1, that is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 is the slope of it. Now if you take the product of these two, we get product of these slopes will give us, that is minus g minus g1 upon f minus f1 into f minus f1 upon g minus g1 equal to minus 1. So that means we say that the radical axis is perpendicular to the line segment joining C1 and C2. This is the first property, that is radical axis is perpendicular to the line segment joining C1 and C2, that is the center of the two circles. Then the next property 2, we get the radical axis bisects the common tangent. This is P. We know this is intersecting at M. Let us take. This is arbitrary point. This M is there. So we say that as MT1 and MT2. Since M lies on this line, we get, since M lies on the radical axis, we know that as any point lies on the radical axis, the tangents drawn from that point to this circle always equal. So if they are always equal means we can say that as MT1 equals MT2, MT1 equal to MT2. That means what we can say, this radical axis bisects the common tangents drawn to these two circles. Even down also you can get this. So this way we can get that as a radical axis is bisecting the common tangents. Next, the third property we have that as two circles. Cut the third circle at P and Q. You draw the tangent at this point P and Q. Now if you draw the P and Q, then the radical axis, that means the radical axis of these two circles will pass through the center of the circle, because we know this is 90 degree, radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So this becomes the radius of this circle. So if you have that as two circles, the third circle is intersecting or cutting these two circles, then the radical axis of these two circles passes through the center of the third circle. So, that will be the third property of it. From this we can find the radius of this circle also. The radius is what? From this to this, what is the length or what is the distance we get. So, that is the length of the tangent which is drawn from this point to this circle we can get as the third property. The next fourth property. Fourth property, what it says that here the two circles touching externally, then this is your radical axis, that is your common tangent. This common tangent is called a transverse common tangent, because the circles lies opposite side of the line. If it is a transverse common tangent, this transverse common tangent is acting as the radical axis, because if you draw any tangent from this, it will be equal. Similarly, the next one, if two circles are intersecting at 2 points, if two circles are intersecting at 2 points, then this we know that as a common chord. This we know as a common chord. So, the common chord is acting as the radical axis. So, if two circles are intersecting, then common chord itself your radical axis. Then the third case you have in this, if two circles are touching internally, that is touching internally at this point, then you can draw these tangents, they are equal in length, then this is acting as the radical axis. This is direct common tangent. Because the two circles lies on the same side of the line. So, in the fourth property what we have, that is, if two circles touching externally, your radical axis is the common tangent to these two circles. And if two circles are intersecting, it is very important, if two circles are intersecting, then the radical axis is your common chord of these two circles. And the third case you have, that is, if the two circles are touching internally, then the direct common tangent is your radical axis. Now, let us move to the radical center is what? What is your radical center? The radical center means here you have, that is, where the radical axis of three circles taken at a pair, that is taken in pair. That means two circle you take, this is your radical axis of these two circles, and this is your radical axis of these two circles, and this is your radical axis of these two circles. Where they meet, this point is called the radical center. So, the radical center means what? The point of concurrency of the radical axis of circles taking two, or we can say that is taken pairwise. That means S, it is S equal to 0, S dash equal to 0, S2 dash equal to 0. If you have these three circles with a center C, C1, C2, then we get this as the radical center. And what is the radical radius? What will be the radical radius? The radius will be from this, if you draw a tangent, length of the tangent, that is acting as the radical radius of this circles. So, you can draw with this as a circle that will be cutting orthogonally to these three circles. So, if they are cutting orthogonally, a circle which cuts all the three circles orthogonally, then that will be your ortho, that is we say that as radical center. You can take this as L1, L2, L3. The radical axis now we have. Let us take that as S equal to x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. S dash, yes, x square plus y square plus 2g1x plus 2f1y plus c1 equal to 0. The another S2 dash as x square plus y square plus 2g2x plus 2f2y plus c2 equal to 0. So, these are the three circles which we have. So, from this, what is the radical axis L1? L1 is S minus S dash. S minus S dash, you get here 2x into g minus g1 plus 2y into f minus f1 plus c minus c1 equal to 0. This is your first radical axis. Second one L2, we get this one S minus, that is S dash minus S2 dash. So, if you are drawing, subtracting these two, you get 2x into g1 minus g2 plus 2y into f1 minus f2 plus c1 minus c2 equal to 0. Then L3, it is S2 dash minus S dash, this and this, that is the third circle and the first one. So, we get 2x into, we get g2 minus g plus 2y into f2 minus f plus c2 minus c equal to 0. So, this is a straight line, this is a straight line, this is a straight line. Now, if you take these two lines, solve it, we get the radical center of the circle. So, now what are the properties of the radical center? The first property says that the radical center, if you solve, if you have S equal to 0, S1 equal to 0, S2 equal to 0, then the radical center we can get it as S equal to S1 equal to S2 equal to 0. This is a straight line, that is S equal to S1, that means S minus S1 equal to 0, a straight line you will get. Another S1 minus S2 equal to 0, another straight line you will get. So, these two you solve it. आपने सॉल्व किया है तो इसमें से आपको क्या मिलेगा, रेडिकल सेंटर वो मिलेगा. फिर द सेकेंड वन, if you have a triangle, if a circle is drawn through A, B, C, two circles you have drawn in this with AB as a diameter and AC as a diameter that meet D here. Then we can say that this is the altitude of. If two diameters if you have, if you are drawing these two circles, then where your orthocenter, that is radical center will lie. So, in this case you have AD as the altitude. Similarly, if you draw with BC and AB, then you will get another BE as the altitude, another CF as the altitude. So, in a triangle, if you are drawing the circles with AB, AC and BC as diameters, then the radical center is orthocenter of a triangle. So, what is the orthocenter? All the three altitudes passing through that point is called orthocenter. So, the radical center and orthocenter coincide, are one and the same if the circles drawn with sides as the diameter of a circle. Now, let us see an application of these things in the questions. Now, the first example based on the radical axis and radical center. Now, here the equation of the three circles are given. They are x square plus y square equal to 1, x square plus y square minus 8x plus 15 equal to 0, and x square plus y square plus 10y plus 24 equal to 0. Determine the point P such that the tangents drawn from it to the circles are equal in length. So, it is given that as equal in length, underline. So, that means we are given that as the PT1 equal to PT2. So, we have to find the point P. That means this point P is on where radical axis. P is on a radical axis. So, P is on radical axis means now how to find this point P. So, now for that three circles are given. So, for that what we can see that x square plus y square equal to 1 and x square plus 1, this is s equal to 0 and this is s dash equal 0 and this is s2 dash equal to 0. So, now s minus s dash, the first two equations if you ask same. So, what you will get, x square cancel, y square also cancel. So, you get here 8x minus 1 minus 15. So, minus 16 equal to 0. 8x minus 16 equal to 0, or from this we get x equal to 2 if you are simplifying this. Same way s dash minus s2 dash, that is another radical axis. So, the radical axis these two if you are subtracting, what you will get minus 8x and then here there is no y. So, minus 10y, 15 minus 24 you get minus 9 equal to 0. That means, s dash minus s2 dash equals 0 is another radical axis. So, from this we get that as minus 8x minus 10y minus 9 equal to 0. Now, what we have to find out? Determine the point P such that the tangents drawn from it to the circles are equal in length. So, three circles you have here. So, the point from this the tangents if you draw, they are equal in length. So, that means that is the radical center we can say that. So, now we have to find a point means we can solve these two equations, because now we got two equations of radical axis. So, solving means what? Already we got x equal to 2. This value of 2 substitute करें. So, substitute करने से क्या मिलेगा आपको? Minus 8 into 2 minus 10y minus 9 equal to 0. That means, minus 10y, this is minus 16 minus 9. So, you get minus 25 equal to 0. So, we get minus 10y equal to 25. Yeah, y equal to minus 25 by 10, yeah, minus 5 by 2 we get. So, the coordinate it becomes P coordinate is 2 comma minus 5 by 2. That is the point P, this is your point P. From there, if you draw the tangent to these three circles, they are equal in length. So, that means it is the radical center. That radical center lies on the radical axis. So, the point of intersection of these two radical axes gives us the radical center. Now, let us move into the second question. what it says. Find the radical center of circles, this, this and this. There are 3 circles given. Also, find the equation of the circle cutting them orthogonally. अब try कर लीजिए with the same formulas which we have learnt. Now question number 3 में पहुंचते हैं. It says that, इसमें क्या बता रहे हैं? Find the radical center of 3 circles described on the 3 sides 4x minus 7y plus 10 equal to 0, x plus y minus 5 equal to 0, 7x plus 4y minus 15 equal to 0 of a triangle as a diameters. Already we have seen the properties of the radical center. उसमें क्या बताया था? If your circles are drawn, the sides as a diameter, then altitude passes through same point, that is orthocenter is your radical center. Not in every case. Here they say that as the circles are described on this side as a diameter, this side as a diameter and this side as a diameter. Then we say that as the orthocenter of this triangle is your radical center. Now, how to find the orthocenter? So, before that check this, either these lines are perpendicular or not. You see the slope of this line? Slope of 4x minus 7y plus 10 equal to 0 is minus the coefficient of x upon coefficient of y. So, minus 4 by minus 7, that is 4 by 7, or slope of 7x plus 4y minus 15 equal to 0. इसमें क्या होगा? इसका स्लोप क्या मिलेगा? सेम वे माइनस द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ x अपॉन कोफिशिएंट ऑफ y. क्या मिलेगा? माइनस 7 बाई 4 इक्वल टू माइनस 7 बाई 4. सो इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट क्या मिलेगा? 4 बाई 7 इंटू माइनस 7 बाई 4 इज माइनस 1. दैट मीन्स these two are perpendicular. Therefore, these lines are perpendicular. So, perpendicular means आपको ऐसे आ गया triangle, that is a right angle, the triangle. So, this is one side, that is 4x minus 7y plus 10 equal to 0, and another line is 7x plus 4y minus 15 equal to 0. So, this is the first equation, this is second and this is the third one, and 1 and 3 we have. If you take this as a 1, 2 and 3 as a heto. So, 1 and 3 has right angle triangle. Now, since this is perpendicular and this is the altitude and this is the altitude. So, कहाँ intersect हो रहा है? At this point. So, in a right angled triangle, the orthocenter कहाँ होगा? इस point में, where आपके 90 degree बनता है. So, उस जगह पे आपको orthocenter बनता है. So, that means to find the radical center, we need to find orthocenter. This orthocenter of a right angled triangle is the point of intersection of these two lines. Now, we have to solve these two equations by elimination method. If you are multiplying, take this one first equation as this as a 1, that is 1, and 3 if you are solving. So, first equation को आप multiply करिए 7 से या 4 से multiply करें, plus second equation को 7 से multiply करें. Because इन दोनों में opposite sign है. So, we are going to equate the coefficient and then eliminate it. So, क्या मिलेगा? 16x minus 28y plus 40 equal to 0. अगला है, you are multiplying the third equation, not second, the third equation by 3. So, you get 7 into 7, 49x plus 28y minus 7 into 15, 105 equals 0. So, if these two are opposite sign, so this get cancelled. So, आप इन दोनों को ऐड करें, so क्या मिलेगा इसमें 65x minus 65 equal to 0. So, क्या मिला है x equal to 1. Is value of x equal to 1, put it in this equation, any one of this equation, either 1 or 3. So, to get the value of y is what? So, 4, if you are substituting in the first one. So, 4 minus 7y plus 10 equal to 0. 4 minus 7y plus 10 equal to 0. So, then इसमें से आपको y मिलेगा, so 14 equal to 7y या y equal to 2 मिल गया. So, y equal to 2 मिल गया मतलब इसका कोऑर्डिनेट 1, 2 मिल गया. So, what is this? This is your orthocenter of a right angle triangle. This orthocenter is your radical center. So, इधर क्वेश्चन में क्या दिया है आपको? 3 इक्वेशन ऑफ द साइड्स ऑफ अ ट्रायंगल दिया है. So, उसके डायमीटर मान के 3 सर्कल बनाया है. Then what will be the radical center? The radical center is same as the orthocenter if the circles are drawn with these sides as the diameter. मगर इसमें ये आपको ट्रायंगल बन रहा है राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल, क्योंकि ये पहला इक्वेशन और थर्ड इक्वेशन परपेंडिकुलर टू ईच अदर, इसलिए हमने ऑर्थोसेंटर फाइंड किया है where these two lines are intersecting. That point is 1, 2. So, this is your orthocenter, we can say, या radical center of the required circle. आज इसमें आपको रेडिकल सेंटर, रेडिकल एक्सिस ये देखा है, समझ में आया होगा. I hope that is you will be understanding very well with these lectures. Thank you.